I'm Lisa Berberette, better known as the Pumpkin Lady, and for the last 10 years I have been a professional pumpkin carver. Now, to celebrate my 10th anniversary, I thought I'd give myself a little bit of a break. Every year I answer about a mazillion emails about how to carve pumpkins, and I'm not talking about pro carver stuff, I'm just talking about the basics. So this year, so I can save my hands for carving and give it a rest from all those emails, we decided to make a series of YouTube how-to videos on pumpkin carving. So, we're going to take you through the entire process, but in today's portion of the video, we're going to talk about picking out your pumpkin. Now, whether you go to the local grocery store or if you're more fortunate, right out to the farmer's field, there's a couple of things that you're going to want to look for when you get your pumpkin, some things to avoid, and how to pick out the right pumpkin that's going to fit your pattern so all the kids will be happy when you get home this Halloween. Now, to start with, let's talk about what you don't want in a pumpkin, like this one here. With pumpkins, you want a nice even color. This one, you can see it has some discoloration to it. Now, at first glance, you might get a little worried that that's bruising, and on some it is. If so, that spot is going to be really soft. If it is, put it back in the field. Now, on this pumpkin, it is discolored, but it's still really nice and firm, so this one's going to last. But if it has any kind of softness, you're going to want to put it down. And before you do, check the bottom. This is the part of the pumpkin that usually sits in the water if it gets rain. This is the area that's going to rot first and show any signs of softness. So if you get anything like that, put this one back down in the field and try to pick another one. But don't pick one like this. I know on the outside it looks nice and beautiful, but on the inside, this pumpkin is already starting to rot, because another stem has made a little puncture already into the skin of this pumpkin. That means most likely it's rotting from the inside out. If you get this several weeks ahead of Halloween, it's never going to make it. You're going to have a little pre-pumpkin pie sitting on your front porch step. This one needs to be put back into the field as well. What you really want is something maybe a little bit more of a typical jack-o'-lantern style. Has a nice stem. Sometimes you can make your face from this way if you've got one that can have a nose on it. But it's a nice orange, even color. There's no nicks, there's no bruise. Now some pumpkins, they can have a few little bumps. Pumpkins are gourds anyway. And these little bumps aren't going to matter. As long as there's no soft spots, no nicks and cuts, you're going to be fine this Halloween season. Now, one thing to remember is to pick your pattern before you go pick your pumpkin. Now, if you have a nice little easy jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, a little pumpkin like this is going to be just fine. However, if you have a more intricate pattern, like this one, don't get a small pumpkin. Get something that's bigger. Something maybe even a little bigger than this pumpkin here. You can always blow the pattern up to fit it. The harder the pattern is to carve, the easier it will be to carve in the end if you put it on a larger pumpkin. So big or small, decide on the pattern you want before you decide on the size of the pumpkin. It's going to make everybody a lot happier when you get home so that you don't come home with something itty bitty and you have to carve the big pattern on it. It's never going to work. Make it easier on yourself and pick the right size at the farm before you ever come home. Now, if you like the patterns that you've seen today, or you want some more tips and tricks, please visit www.pumpkinlady.com. And remember, I'd love to hear from you. I'm always willing to take your suggestions, and if you have some questions, perhaps put it in a video as well. I'm Lisa Berberette, the Pumpkin Lady. Happy carving!